Hello Sagittarius, welcome or welcome back to my Body and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do the reading for July 2020. I hope you're well, Sagittarius. There's there's a lot going on, isn't it? Energetically speaking, and in the world, the manifestation of that energy. So this is a general reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. If it resonates, it resonates, and if it doesn't, then it's just not your reading. Use your intuition to be able to tell what story applies to you and how, and let the rest go. All right, my dear, let's see what's your current energy. Eight of Swords. All right, let's see what's your challenge. What's your challenge, dear Sagittarius? Justice, as well as the Seven of Swords. All right. Now let's see what's your advice. What's the advice for Sagittarius? Four of Swords. You're in your mind, Sagittarius. What's going on? It's all swords energy, and justice is also with a big ass sword right over there. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, let's see what's the future energy once you take the advice into consideration. This one kind of fell backwards. Don't really read, what's it called? Okay, so this is about love. This is about love. All this stress, all this extreme anxiety, it's about love. I'm gonna clarify these cards. What is this all about? So you're trapped in your mind with the Eight of Swords here. You're trapped in your mind. What are you trapped in your mind about? What's going on? Let's see, is this, yeah. What's this Eight of Swords here? Is your current energy? What is it that you're not seeing? Okay. The Nine of Wands with the Five of Wands. Interesting. What are you not honest about here? What are you, and you know you're not honest with the Justice here. What are you not honest about here? Maybe to yourself as well, not just to the other. Okay, the Chariot with the Three of Cups. Get a lot of cards here. Okay, so what's the Four of Swords here as your advice? The Empress, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. Alright, so why is the Nine of Swords here as the future energy? You've got so many cards, my goodness. Alright, so you have the Three of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, the Lovers. I'm telling you, this is all about love, and the Moon. Okay, and bottom of the deck, Ace of Swords with the Two of Cups. Okay, so the great thing that I see here is that at least by the end of the month, throughout this month, you're going to get your resolution. You're going to get your closure. You're going to get what is it that you're stressing out about. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to end up together or like the conflict will go in a direction that you wanted. It's more about the fact that you're going to get like full clarity about what's going on in here. Does it make sense? Does it not make sense? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Is this just obsession or is it love? This kind of stuff, you know? So you're definitely going to get your clarity about this relationship. I'm going to go full in with a relationship reading. If you're not in a relationship, or if you're not with anyone or have anyone in your mind, an ex or a crush or whatever, then it can also be read as internal struggles, like two aspects of yourself, and maybe having eventually this inner resolution of two aspects of yourself finally coming together and relating to each other. Okay, or understanding what's at the core of the conflict, that kind of stuff. You know, it's the Ace of Swords is some type of resolution. It's a new idea. It's something that comes new, a new type of understanding about this situation. Okay, so currently you find yourself an Eight of Swords energy, which, as you know, most likely it's a feeling trapped in your mind, feeling really feeling powerless in a situation, blindfolded, bounded, all that things. And my dear, this is going on right now because you're really being triggered at your core wound, the biggest wound that you carry within yourself as a soul, as a this lifetime, but not just from this lifetime. I guess it's a journey, you know, it's a soul journey. And with the Nine of Wands here, I think you're reaching that place, and automatically the mind wants to shut you down. It starts creating like all these stories around it so that you don't go forward because it's trying to protect you, right? It's like a defense mechanism. So suddenly you may feel like you can't make sense out of anything. You may experience obsessive thinking, obsessive thoughts that I don't know, that they just like trap you down. I know this energy. It's horrible. You feel one can literally feel powerless, and like the almost like the mind is hijacking us, you know. And yeah, that tends to be an automatic response, an automatic mechanism that just comes through. And even when we become aware of this, it can be a little bit difficult because we don't seem to have control over it. They just come and they take us by storm, and we freeze down. No, we're getting like completely trapped into those obsessive thoughts and obsessive thinking. And you have also the Five of Wands here, so I guess that you really are being triggered from many sides right now. It may be from this relationship, obviously, but not just there. I think like everything that's kind of going on around you right now, because you have all these wands scattered around, they seem to somehow trigger this core wound. And you know something very deeply within yourself. You know that you're going to have to deal with this eventually. You're going to have to open up to it. You're going to have to allow yourself to feel that. And this is a healing process. And I'm saying especially that it's a soul journey thing because it's one's energy, right? It's about your spiritual experience. And this Five of Wands here is telling me that this is, again, you're being challenged in this way in order for you to grow spiritually, in order for you to understand, to overcome this. This is a 9. It's so near the end. It's so near the end of the journey of this cycle. You do need to be present with the wound though, and your mind is not your ally here, not at all. I have all the compassion for this because I completely understand. I cannot just tell you, well, get out of your mind, because it's not really going to work. What I can tell you though, and that's also the wisdom of this card, is that you can use mindfulness. You need to get into your body as much as you can, no matter how much you're being tricked by your mind to stay into the trance of thoughts, whatever that trance is, whether you're fantasizing breaking up, whether you're fantasizing getting back together, whether you're fantasizing things going one way or another, whether you're replaying in your mind a story or a conversation you had or you should have had, or all that, you know. It's like that's the trap of the mind. That's what the mind does. The only thing you have at your disposal right now is to do your best to come into your body, to come into the present moment. Use your body as an anchoring point whenever you lose yourself in this trance that's like not you're not going to find out anything in there. It's nothing new coming from there. It's going to come from the body, right? And it's understanding the body wisdom, getting into that. It can create a lot of space for you to for new wisdom to come through, which is apparently coming eventually. But if nothing else, at least it's a tool for you to not get completely lost in those thoughts processes. And it's those thoughts constructs, because they're just constructs, you know, like we end up having fights in our head with people in our lives, and those fights never existed and will never exist, and they will never take place in the way we imagine them. We can get full dissociated, we can go into la la land, we can go in so many places, but not here, not in the now. And therefore we can't really respond to experiences, we can't really be, you know, we're very clouded, it's very, very confusing, and again, trapped. It's very painful, it's very painful to be here. So your only tool right now is really truly coming into your body. Even if it doesn't make any sense to you, why do I need to feel my breath? Why do I need to feel my feet? It doesn't make any sense. Your mind will even make you more, even if you like mindfulness, maybe you would feel more annoyed at coming into the body now. Also, you may feel a lot in the body, because all these thoughts actually create emotions, and all these emotions actually are happening first at body level. We perceive them with our mind, but they happen in the body. There are chemical reactions within the body. So the felt sense in the body, once you actually get in there, may feel quite intense and challenging, because you obviously, it's the wound that's there. You carry that wound in your body anyway. And I know you don't want to hear this, but you want to be in the present moment. Even if in the body it feels a little bit uncomfortable, it's not as bad as what you make out of it. The stories that you create. And again, it's not a conscious process. You don't do this on purpose. Yeah, I want to escape my wound, therefore I'm going to start creating all these stories, and I can just press the button and the end. No, it's a practice coming back into the body. It's a practice. Walk barefoot. Ground yourself. Oh my goodness, there are many ways of grounding. Go in nature, walk barefoot on rough surfaces, wash your face all the time, drink hot tea, cold water, you know, the like sensory type of diet in which you expose yourself to certain different senses so that you come back into the body. Keep always, you know, this self-caring gestures of maybe putting a hand on your heart every once in a while, and or a hand on your belly. This may not sound like much, but it's really, really grounding, and this is exactly what you need. Oh, that core wound. I remember you had it also in the previous reading, so you've been struggling with this core wound for a while. And it's normal, and we all need to go through this, you know. We all need to go through this. We all carry our wounds, and we tend to define ourselves through our wounds, and we tend to do like all this crazy shit, crazy behaviors only to escape feeling it. And that's how we create our suffering, right? If we hold space for the wound, we we increase our window of tolerance, and we learn to allow it, to confront it, the lies that are being created as a way to cover it up. It will surface. Do a lot of self-care though, and try to keep discernment. It is really, really hard, as I said. That's why the recommendation to go into your body, like, look what your mind is doing to you right now. You're literally trying to deceive yourself, and you don't know it, or maybe you know it. Maybe you're already seeing like, okay, I don't really know what thoughts to trust right now. I feel very ambivalent about everything. I don't know which story in my mind is real and which it isn't. Let me tell you a secret. None of them is real. The story is just a story. Yes, it's an interpretation of reality through our brains, because that's how we interpret reality, through stories. But the story could never be fully accurate. The emotions and the body experience is. And sometimes it's important to go through the raw experience, uninterpreted, unanalyzed, nothing, just feeling. If you're familiar with breath work, do breath work like rebirthing, or any breath work that is focused specifically on release, on staying in the body and releasing, not in getting high. You know, that not that type of breath work that is like holotropic breath work, that it's supposed to just give you out of body experiences or things like that. No, the one that it helps you stay into the body and release from the body. You know, release from the body level, from your bleach orb. What's it called? Like from your tissues, to release the toxins that you have been carrying with all this fear-based reality and story. So hey, it is normal that your mind is doing this thing. See if you can look at it with a bit of compassion and love, because it's scared. You know, it's like a child that's just trying to come up with excuses to not have to do their homework, or not have to do their, I don't know, chores that they dislike. So I think that we can only be as honest with others as we are honest with ourselves. And if you find yourself in the inability to be honest with yourself right now, maybe it's a good idea to take a little bit of space. You see, you're dishonest with the direction that you want to go in. What is it that you really want? You don't know what you really want right now, because it's a constant mental confusion. And maybe you know already that you're somehow being dishonest. Maybe you've touched on the core wound and you understand that maybe you need something else. Maybe you need something much deeper, but then you're afraid to let go of what you have already, even though it's not the thing that you really need. Because I don't know, maybe you're compromising, maybe you're settling down, maybe you're feeling like, hey, what I need is impossible to receive. And it is and it isn't. That's the weird thing. Because what we think we need sometimes gets highly misinterpreted. You know, we think that we need somebody to love us the way we want, in a very particular way, maybe the way that we haven't been loved as children. But that's not really the duty of the other. That is pretty much our own work, to be able to create that safe space within ourselves and create that relationship between the wounded self and the nurturer, the adult, the inner mother, the inner father, and to rewrite those internal stories based on a deeper wisdom that we get from all the spiritual work that we're all doing, right? I think it has to do with relationships in general as well, the way you're seeing relationship and what you want, what you need. Again, what you want and what you need may be different things, but if you really get to the core of what you really need, maybe you need to be seen, maybe you need to be held in and nurtured in certain ways. Not to say that your partner shouldn't or couldn't do this, but that shouldn't be an exchange, you know, okay, I nurture you, you nurture me, and this is it. It's more like, okay, I am here, I am taking space with my wounds, and I am in a healing process, and you are as well. And I don't need you to help me make sense of my reality, or constantly co-regulate my emotional turmoil, because that would create codependency. The Two of Cups talks about real relationships, not made out of codependency, but from somebody who's like able to hold space for their own emotions and able to self-nurture. You know, this is moving a lot, sorry. And with friends as well, you know, friendships, what do friendships mean to you? Are you one of those people that would be like, hey, like if you are not here when I need you the way I need you, that means you're not my friend? Or are you a person that can understand that, hey, other people have lives too, and we're all going through our own healing journeys, and it is what it is. Sometimes people can be available to give us some help or helping hand. Sometimes they may not be available, and that's okay. That's normal, you know. Doesn't necessarily mean that I feel abandoned and betrayed. Okay, if there's a pattern that this happens again and again and again and again and again and again, then obviously it's a good idea to check our friend groups as well and see who we keep and who we let go of. But it's important to see how we relate, and how when we're relating from our wound, everything just gets distorted by our wound. And instead of seeing people for exactly what they are and being able to experience them, really experiencing other people from an open space, it's a completely different experience than when we are all filtering it, everything through our wound, our fear of abandonment, our fear of rejection, our fear of this, our fear of that, liking them to our caretakers or parents somehow, and then come triggering the same defense mechanisms that we've been having for ages. That means we can't be fully authentic, nor can we see them for who they are. It's not that we will ever fully experience somebody else exactly for who they are, because that's not, you know, we still can only guess. I am I, and I barely know myself, and I'm just getting to know myself, and what I know of another person is what I can perceive, depends on my openness, but it will never be fully them as they are. But we can go closer and closer by working on ourselves and healing our own wounds. So yeah, it's not an easy one, Sagittarius, and this you obviously need a lot of clarity, inner clarity right now. Obviously the advice, it makes a lot of sense to me to take a break, to meditate, to stay with yourself, to stay in reflection mode. It's not that you necessarily cut off completely this relationship, break up, gone with the wind, that's it. It's more about, hey, take really some time off. Just same like here, like using the body to get into the body will help you calm the mind. You need to do anything that you can do right now to give your mind a space to settle down a little bit, to not torture you the way it does right now. And coming with the Empress and all these pentacles here, again, it's about the body. The Eight of Pentacles talks about routine. Look at this spider here. Talks about like carefully sitting and waving the types of routines that, and the support groups, and the the tools that you need at your disposal, you know, making your environment safe, making your body safe, becoming friends with your body, becoming friends with yourself by, you know, I don't know, an analogy comes to mind now. Let's say that you are in a completely unknown territory and you need to keep yourself safe for the night. What do? Well, first you find a cave or something, or a safe environment, and then you look to make sure there are not any animals or whatever to kill you in the night. And I don't know, maybe you set traps around to make sure that if somebody approaches you hear, and maybe you, I don't know, light up a fire. These are like these tools that you kind of put for yourself as safety, but they're conscious. They're conscious movements. There's something that you are fully aware of. You do it with awareness. That could also mean, in all this case, like looking for therapy. Seriously, if you can afford it, or if you have the possibility somehow to seek out therapy right now, or help from somebody who is good at holding space, do so. By all means, do so. This is the time. If you cannot afford it, well, use your knowledge, use your understanding, use, I don't know, YouTube, meditation apps, things like that, that are especially specifically aimed at anxiety and aimed at, say, mindfulness of the body awareness, self-love, the Empress, self-love, self-nurturing, holding space for your experience as it is, becoming, receptive rather than constantly trying to figure out the solution. You can't problem solve your way out of this one, for sure. It's just your mind is gonna keep playing tricks on you. And don't worry, you're not mad. You're not mad at all. I mean, this happens to everyone. And you, Sag, even though you're fire energy, you're quite in the mind. You're one of those more, you can actually be mistaken for air energy sometimes. And if you have air in your chart as well, this makes even more sense, like what's your moon or rising, or your sun in this case. Hey, so self-care, nurturing, create that fire, set up those defensive things that you need, create the safe space for yourself right now to allow your mind to just relax. Do the breath work, do the meditation, do the walking meditation, go in nature, eat good food, nourishing food. If you're not hungry because you're obsessing or whatever, I don't know, try to eat out of habit, create a schedule with just a little bit there, but something that's healthy and can energize you. The 10 of Pentacles is telling you that. Look at bigger traditions around this. Look at the traditions that you feel you can relate to. If you're connected or you relate to psychology, look for psychological processes that can help you into this. Mindfulness, secular mindfulness is really great in this sense because there's a lot of psychological studies around it. So look that up, see how that helps you. There's a book called The Mindfulness Way Out of Depression that can truly help you, giving you like some very practical steps and tips of how to work with this. Also look at if there's other traditions, say Buddhism, if you relate to Buddhism, look at the techniques that they use there in the meditation. If you, I don't know, resonate more with witchcraft or Wicca, or I don't know, the Hinduism pantheon or whatever, look specifically where you can find your own wisdom, but for ways to create this safe space for yourself, to create this nurturing environment, to nurture yourself. You can do inner child work, you can do ritual, you can do whatever it is that you need, baby, but you gotta do it. This is it. Putting your mind at rest and do this very practical, physical work. If you exercise, for example, if that's your thing, go do a schedule, create that exercising routine, go for a run on, all that. It's really, really what is going to save you. And it works without failure once we really put the energy in that direction. And this is why I value this reading so much, actually, because if you resonate with it, obviously, this is you're already in here. If you resonate with this reading, this is not the prediction for, I don't know, something that's gonna come to you. This is happening. This is your current energy. This is your current challenge. This is your advice for what you can do in this very moment right now. And this is your future energy. 9 of Swords and all this madness here. Okay, so the 9 of Swords, obviously the anxiety is it's there. But with I think that with the grounding work that you can do, you can start seeing what's really in the back of your mind, what's rushing in your subconscious, what are the stories being told from this wounded place, the 2 9s. And yeah, this is going to be again around loss and breaking up and moving forward, again around relationships and you know, people working together and individuality. And you know, see, these three pentacles are at the foundation of this mountain, but they have different colors and they work together from their color. They don't need to become, this does not need to become yellow in order to combine and connect with the yellow. See, they create this these are complementary colors. They create a different color in between. They create something special by not trying to imitate each other but be themselves. There is green between yellow and blue. If you know anything about colors, that makes perfect sense. This is between red and what's this? Yellow, you have orange, and this is, well, whatever, purple thing. It's about being able to relate healthily from a place of individuality, truly working together, truly allowing love in. We can't allow love in when we operate from this terribly hurt space, because we're terrified of love, because love hurts, because we associate love with the pain. And I can have a different million reasons to tell you where that could come from. Obviously, in this lifetime we perceive it as childhood wounds. It's, you know, it's coming out though. That's good, because these thoughts, you see, they are on this black wall here, and it's keeping this person awake. But these are the repressed thoughts. The repressed thoughts that you have around all this, and the confusion. The moon talks about confusion around your love, about the idea of love, about how to show up in love, about all this. But you see, in order to be able to fix something, or to address something, or to heal something, you need to know where it is. You need to know what it is. In order to go along with, like, if you have a physical injury or a physical pain, in order to move on towards any type of treatment, first you need a diagnosis. No, you need to know, why does it hurt? Where does it hurt? Where is the issue? You're gonna go do, I don't know, an X-ray. You're gonna go do you know, some tests, things like this. This is your period. This is what you're doing. You're creating this safety around you, and an incredibly nurturing environment for yourself. And I think it's a very important to look at it as an internal nurturing environment. Be really, really compassionate and caring with yourself, even when your mind is playing tricks on you. You need to understand that's not because you are bad, or because your mind is evil, because the ego is the enemy. No. These are like, when we grow up with serious fucking wounds, we can't have a very clear sense of ego. Or the ego creates these blind spots. Well, we don't see what's going on, but we become very reactive. This is reactivity as well. So as these things start arising and you start seeing them, and you start seeing these themes around love, and you start seeing these themes about individuality and being together, you start seeing when it is time for you to move on and when is it time for you to stay. You can use your intuition then. You can use your intuition much better. You can start understanding your emotions and not get trapped in these stories. And there's your damn resolution. That's the resolution coming through with the Ace of Swords here. So resolution is coming. It's the really good news. Okay, I'm gonna pull out a Rumi Oracle card. Let's see what's the wisdom of the heart for my troubled Sagittarius. Come on, Rumi, give me a very comprehensive message, please. Victory of Mariam. Oh, you have two. But I'm gonna take this one. Maybe I'm gonna read the guidance, a very quick guidance for this one too. She offers the sacred wine, so drink. Huh. So I'm gonna read this one mainly and see what's about that one too. 41. I like this whole victory. You see, she kind of penetrates through these layers, and I could see there's this sword. You know, you're getting some type of a higher type of understanding. 41. Where are you? Okay, found it. Let me take a sip of tea. I like that it says this, because we have the moon card right here. So the poem from Rumi says, if you are longing to caress the moon, don't turn away from it. If you are not ill, why do you crawl under a blanket to hide? You are in a quarry of sweets, why do you look so sour? You live in the spring of life, why are you withered inside? Don't fight against yourself. My goodness, this is exactly what this looks like, yeah? Don't flee from what could be your glory. Like a fearless moth, dive into the flame. Why be linked to your obsession? Sorry. That's exactly what we were talking about, right? Obsessive thinking. I just love to see how these cards just always really go straight at the source, right where it's important. Okay, so why be linked to your obsessions? Burn out in the flames until your heart and soul are enlightened. Get out of the old carcass and form yourself a new body. Why are you afraid of a fox when you descend from lions? Why be a lame ass when you have the strength of stallions? I never got that part. I mean, it's annoying. I don't like that part. The beloved you seek will arrive to open the door to your fortune, for love is the key that opens all your locks. Rumi. Love is the key that opens all your locks, my dear. You see it here? You have the lovers and this Two of Cups. Alright, so this oracle brings you a message of affirmation and success. Your victory is already assured. Hey, hey, here. That's what this is saying as well. So do keep that in mind as you go through this process, because it will give you the hope to bear through it. Okay, let me read. Your victory is already assured. You are being led into it now. No matter if you believe it is not possible, and you are placing more faith in the appearance of distraction or obstacle than in utter success. No matter if you have forgotten for a moment that the divine lives within you. Not that you have forgotten for a moment that divine lives in you as you, and that apparent failure is only a part of the process, the plan through which learning happens, serving the ultimate holy victory. Yes, your victory is inevitable. So you are being given this reminder from the Holy Mother. Wait, what? Oh yeah, because it's Mariam. From the Holy Mother, Mary, also called Mariam, and the beloved divine presence of love that she serves. It is that presence that is real. It is the Holy Mother that is real. It is the divine in you that is real, and all else swirls around you, so your soul can play. You also have the, where was it, your advice. You have this, the Empress, which is the same type of like mother, caring, nurturing energy. Every challenge and adventure is an opportunity for you to test your mettle, to see what you are in truth. The eagle that flies requires space and open sky. The tigress that hunts requires hunger to drive her to fulfill her being and live her nature. You need what you need to realize your divine nature as a holy expression of the greatest love. So life is providing for you that your needs be met. Whatever may be troubling you or is soon to present itself, it is not a situation or a circumstance meant to bring you trouble. You just need to allow yourself to become more eagle-eyed, beloved wild one. It is not what appears to be is the source of challenge for you, not at all. It is only how you're viewing the situation. See, this is about the mind. Your thoughts, the perceptions that you have, what you make out of your reality and out of the, the wounds and triggers. Can you allow yourself to shift perspective? Yes, this is truth. It is only in forgetfulness that the fear creeps in. Oh yes, to forget for a moment that you are divinity and to lapse into erroneous belief that the challenges are more real than the love they veil? No. The real challenge is in the attitude, not in any circumstance or situation. Will you remember that all is divinity manifesting and nothing exists outside of it? All is perfectly designed to help you fulfill your being, live your truth, experience your power, and reside in the perfection of your divine loving heart. Be curious rather than afraid. What is loving seeking to draw? No. What is loving seeking to draw you out of you now? It is always love in interaction with you, even if sometimes you feel like you are holding a massive rock on your back up the steepest of all hills to build a temple at its apex. This seems like a pretty rough stair to walk. Yet when the temple is built overlooking the ocean and startling burst of golden orange sunset explodes across the water, turning it gold, you'll forget about the climbing that hill. You'll just drink in the view instead. You'll forget what you were supposed to worry about. Or don't you hate when that happens? You'll just have to love in that moment and be peaceful instead. It makes more sense to notice the sunset than to turn your back upon its glory and grumble about how heavy those rocks were. Then in your inspiration, in your forgetfulness, you'll dream of another temple and the process of creation, perhaps with more lugging about of great heavy rocks, and it will begin again. But then, so too will another captivating sunset be granted, best witnessed in your newly built temple, that renders you speechless and spellbound. This oracle brings you guidance and comfort. Whatever is going on in your life right now, whether it brings you joy or deeper struggle, is the divine in you as you breaking through into your life. Do not hesitate to trust it. Embrace it fully and let it have its way. There is nothing that needs to be resisted. You are safe to be wild, to be alive. Live it with love and let it unfold. The promise of success is yours, so allow yourself to be brought to it through the guiding wisdom of life, the life that serves love. There is also a part of you that is daring to love, to live, to trust more so than before. You are even daring to quit the traumatic tendency to relive so many past hurts and aches. You no longer want to taunt yourself with failure and critique. You are less frightened of yourself, so you do not need to sabotage yourself anymore. You are learning love's way and claiming it as your own. That is your path to victory assured. This oracle asks you to trust in your growing optimism, to let the war be over now and put it behind you, even if it means weeping with sweet sorrow and relief for a while. The sunset is golden, the struggle is behind you. Now just rest and enjoy the golden glow as you rest with love a long, long while. Okay, so there's a ritual. I'm going to read it. If you feel the call to do it, do it. If not, go to just honor yourself, okay? So with your hands in prayer at your forehead, breathe in and out, and if you can, allow your mind to become still. Then say aloud, I call on Mariam, who loves me without condition, to bring me faith, and Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, to bring me oneness with the great beloved. I call upon the unconditional loving. Sorry, I lost it. I call upon the unconditional loving wisdom of life and my own divine essence. And I give thanks for all that it is. I give thanks for the light that will be born from the darkness. And I give thanks for the fullness of my being coming into expression now. I give thanks for the grace and mercy that guides my way. And I surrender into the love that is leading me into my divine destiny now. So be it. Close your eyes and bow your head to your hands in prayer again, and still your mind if you can for several moments. When you feel ready, simply open your eyes and you have completed your ritual. This was a very long read. I don't feel inclined to read this one too, but it's more about like really tasting into that experience. And I see that golden pot that she holds right here. It has to do with the sacred feminine. It has to do with playing playing around, Allow your playful side to come in. Allow yourself to drink wine that she is offering. All right, my dear. Best of luck with this. It's a bit of a tough one. I can tell you that. I relate to it a lot. And yeah, it's gonna be okay. The victory is assured. The resolution is coming through. Just be with it as best as you can, with as much love, self-love and self-care as you can. May our practice benefit of being Sagittarius. If you resonate with this reading, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you here next month.